What is up, guys? It has been a very rainy weekend with Tropical Storm Barry out there in the Gulf. We've had nothing but rain upon rain upon rain all weekend long. As you can see behind me, I've got sandbags at the door of my garage just to keep the floods from coming in. I've been having to do a lot of digging and stuff just to direct the water around. But anyway, I just thought maybe I'd give you guys a little bit of somewhat of an update on my progress on this 76 Ironhead Sportster. And as I go into the garage, I'll show you what I've done so far, because I told you I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the whole thing apart and just go ahead and utilize that rigid frame. So this is what I've got so far. Okay, this is how far I've gotten as far as disassembly. I took the gas tank off, I've gotten the front end off of there, gotten the back wheel off of there, and I think what I'm going to do before I take the rest of the motorcycle apart, I'm going to take those heads and I'm going to put them back up on the cylinders and go ahead and put my push rod tubes back in here, basically to seal up the motor the best I can. What I want to do before I start taking this thing completely apart, the engine that is that I want to take it down to either the place where I work, where we have this diesel powered pressure washer, or down to the car wash and just pressure wash the mess out of that motor, because there's so much grime and gunk all over the motor. I don't really want to pull the cylinders off and have more crap fall down inside the engine case and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do before I start taking the engine apart. After I get it all pressure washed, then I'm going to pull the engine out of it, and then I'm going to pull the jugs off and the pistons off and take them down to the local bike shop down by my house and have them go ahead and see if they can punch out that rear cylinder and the front cylinder to clean it up. It might have to go 10 over, 20 over, 40 over, or something like that. On top of taking that motorcycle apart, I've been taking pieces off of it and putting it on that frame. So I got the rolling chassis of the rigid frame kind of an idea, kind of figured out what I want to do with it. I'm not sure, but I do have a little bit of an idea how it's going to be. So let me show you guys this. So this is an idea how it may turn out. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with these bars or not. Maybe I will, just because of the fact that it's just freaking different, man. I mean, usually you think of choppers, you think of handlebars like ape hangers or rabbit ears or something like that. But I kind of like these pullbacks. It was a little bit of a booger to get that front end on there. I had to reuse the neck bearings that were on that one and put them on here, because these actually have, I figured out, a 3-degree, looks like a 3-degree tapered neck bearing cups. If you look closely, I don't know if you can see it, but that front end does not exactly run completely true with that neck. So it kind of helps with not being too radical as far as the frame being up at an angle. That rear fender, I don't know if I'm going to go with this rear fender or not. If I do go with it, you can guarantee it's going to get chopped on just to make it work. And I really don't want to use this fender simply because it's an antique, and I don't really want to chop on something like that. It's something sacrilege to me about chopping up something that's of antiquity. Of course, I also see that I've come into a few snags. You're always going to run into snags. The thing about choppers is that you're going to take a bunch of parts that were never meant to go together and make them work. I'll show you one of the snags that I ran into. Now, as far as the placement of the part for the sissy bar, there's already a hole in here. Where's it at? There's already a hole in the frame where a bolt's provided for a bolt to go in there and hold it in. The problem that I'm going to have, though, is because of the default of the position of this brake drum, this is in the way of this, where my brake cable goes. That's an example of what I'm talking about as far as taking things that were never meant to go together and making them work. I can't really reposition this brake drum because this bolt here is what keeps it in place. On top of that, I need a new bolt. As I pulled this out, I found that the threads were bad on the bolt, so I got to get a new bolt. Anyway, so I'm either going to end up drilling a hole elsewhere on this frame or something. And really, honestly and truly, I really don't know exactly how this is going to work out, because I don't have a motor in this chassis yet, and I won't really know what to do until I get a motor in there, because that's all going to determine as far as how long my chain's going to be. And that's going to determine the position of my back wheel and where that brake drum is going to land. It's going to be fun. It really is. I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to have some moments where I'm going to be aggravated, but that's going to be it. That's how it goes. I certainly like the way this thing sits. I mean, it's just got a really cool profile to it. Well, that's that on this project here. So if you like it, leave a like if you're new to the channel, and also if you're new to the channel, just you know, hit subscribe for more videos coming up. Who knows what's coming up, but hopefully it will be interesting enough to keep your attention. So thanks for paying attention if you're new, and you guys, thanks for following, and you guys be good to yourselves and take it easy. Thanks a lot.